This head mount camera is the cheapest head mount camera we've ever seen. It's the most affordable and it works better than half or maybe most of the head mount cameras. We're talking about a fucking game changer here, okay? This is a Chinese-based company, and the moment I found out about them from JS Films, again, shout out to another YouTuber who's done so many videos, and also KK Studio. His name is Brian. These guys have been doing loads of content about FACEGOOD. And the reason why we're talking about FACEGOOD specifically is because of how affordable it is, and it is completely mind-blowing. So FACEGOOD, and there's another company called FaceWare, both create not just the hardware for head-mounted cameras, but also software. So they have these softwares, which essentially take your facial movements and translate that into animation data for a 3D character. Now, both in this scenario, both the hardware and the software need to be really good for you to have realistic animations. Now, both of these companies pretty much do the same thing when it comes to face motion capture. They have these different steps, and I'll explain these steps for you. They start out by a part of the software that records your facial animation. Secondly, you have something called the tracker. In the tracker, you use the software to put landmarks on your eyebrows, on your eyes, and your mouth and lips. And what the tracker does, it has an auto track button, and using the auto track, it will sort of go through all the frames in the video and see where these movements go and essentially trace these lines. Usually you end up with something that is 50% done, and so you need to go ahead and manually keyframe the modifications that you want, and that can take a couple of hours if you're good, or sometimes maybe a day or two if you're not good, if you're a beginner. And what happens after the tracker is now the software knows, okay, these are where the lips are and all that. Then you need to go to the retargeter, and it works exactly the same for both FaceGOOD and FaceWare. You go to the retargeter where you'll download your 3D character.
So this is your target, right? Like a monster or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
So your 3D character, because sometimes your 3D character, not sometimes, most of the time, it's not going to have the exact same face as you unless it's your own face, which is 1% of the time. So you need to then map whatever this tracker has done into the 3D character's face rig, into the face rig. So what happens is in the retargeter, once you do fix all those frames, then you keep recalibrating, and when you recalibrate, it starts using the tracker information and your retargeter information that you just modified, mix them up to recreate the animation, and then once you're happy with what you got, you export out an FBX file of the rig and put it into your 3D software, and boom, you've got realistic facial animation. Very quickly, you record your face, you track the landmarks on your face, and then you retarget those tracks onto the 3D character. And that's essentially how you use a FaceGOOD or FaceWare software to create realistic facial animation. Now, this step can take somewhere between a day to a week.
Makes
to
sense.
a whole week for like a 30-second animation. But you will get Thanos level animation. That is why we're here today. Now, you know something about FaceGOOD. Why is FaceGOOD so interesting?
So there are different tiers, right? So when you want to get a studio level HMC, you have to pay the price for the device itself, which is how much we paid for this? 400.
Let's
something?
just say, if you want to just set up a GoPro and a cap yourself, it will cost you around $1,000. There is literally people who made that and are selling it for $1,500 ready for you. A GoPro and a head mount gear. For FaceWare, I believe their head mount camera costs around $5,000. Just this setup.
FaceWare, not this one. FaceWare is a different
FaceWare.
brand. Yeah, okay.
FaceGOOD released this headset a couple months ago. We were one of the first guys who bought it.
On the same day, actually, we were one of the top 10, I think, who bought it, right? It was like when they opened it and we bought it, right?
We were there. It costs $469.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't fucking make sense. This head mount camera is the cheapest head mount camera we've ever seen. It's the most affordable, and it works better than half or maybe most of the head mount cameras. Why? It has infrared camera, which means it doesn't blast lights in your face. If you go and look at movies, when they're recording a character, there's like 2 lights in their face. That fucks with your eyes. There's no light here. Infrared camera, any lighting scenario, doesn't fucking matter. It records your face the same way. In the dark, in the light
That's
condition.
amazing.
It has a microphone.
Really?
It has a microphone. So you can record your voice at the same time. And it costs $400 something.
So this is for the hardware. Now imagine you recorded your footage and now you want to go through the steps that we talked about. What is the cost of the software?
Free.
Nice.
It's fucking free. Okay. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely free. The software is completely free for you to use to create the manual solve. And this only costs under $500. So anybody can get in on this. Literally anybody, even a college student. But recently, they're using loads of artificial intelligence. You can use artificial intelligence to greatly enhance your tracking by different methods. One is the real-time method. So real-time, the quality of this is ARKit. So they use ARKit for real-time as well, so you can do a live preview. But with the artificial intelligence part of the software, you can essentially have really good animation in real time. And on top of that, you can use your own face to train the data. So the next time you're using auto track, it knows exactly your face. So it tracks better, it tracks faster, and then you can retarget faster. So this comes at a hefty price of $5,000. When I say hefty, I'm talking about hefty compared to the fact that it's absolutely free when you talk about the manual solve. But if you are somebody like a small studio, honestly,
if you have a big client, if you have a brand who are working with, probably 5,000. Is it a year? Or?
It's for 1 year.
Yeah, it's nothing.
$5,000 per year is not that much.
If you are getting really clients, like big, not even, I wouldn't call it big clients. If you are getting
one big project, just one big project.
It will cover everything. And how much time do you save in order to doing that? So now you're using AI to what do I call it? To enhance your facial motion capture or to
enhance it and increase the speed.
And so using AI to enhance and increase speed of your motion capture.
Damn right.
Good.
There's a lot of other features they're adding, but again, a lot of it is in beta. If you guys want to find out more, go to Avatari FACEGOOD. They have a Twitter account and their website and a Discord channel. They essentially are working every day to create better software. So they're training their AI models. All of this is improving, and even their free version, if you think about it, the auto track is going to get better over time because the more faces they train themselves, the auto track gets stronger. So this is a very promising piece of tech and a promising company. And the reason why we were talking about FACEGOOD in specifics is we forgot to mention this. Faceware is still amazing. Sometimes you might get better performance out of Faceware. Sometimes maybe better performance out of FACEGOOD. It really depends on the artist as well. But essentially, the reason why we're talking about this is because Faceware, for each part of the software, for the tracker, there's a monthly price. For the retargeter, there's another monthly price.
Oh, okay.
And there's another thing called Faceware Studio, which is for live preview. There's another price for that, right? And the head mount camera also comes at a price that is more expensive. So unless you're a AAA title studio, I'd say it's harder for anybody to get into investing into something called Faceware.